I'm Jennifer Sness. You're watching News 24 Live. I'm joined in studio by South African writer Mike Streak. He's going to introduce us to his new novel, Ascent of the Solitary Soul. Hello.
Hi, Jennifer.
How are you?
Just fine, thanks. Nice to be here.
Yes, I reckon you drove quite a little bit to be here with us.
Yes, it's a good trip from the country to Cape Town. Always a bit of a shock.
Well, welcome to the big city. Now tell us about Ascent of the Solitary Soul.
Well, it's about a young man who's orphaned as a child, and then he discovers it's not quite as simple as that. So he starts to find out or discover what the truth is about his parents. It starts as a mystery, becomes a thriller, and ends as something completely different.
Wow.
It's a lovely story.
And he's an artist, isn't he?
He's an artist, very talented. He's got an old girlfriend whom he cries for all the time, and she's very much part of the story, and everything will come together.
Ooh, sounds mysterious.
Yes.
Now, what inspired this story?
That's such a difficult question. It's just one idea, you know, and you take it from there. It can just be that, can be anything.
Do the ideas come to you first or the characters?
Oh, it's the idea. It's a picture. It's a scenario, and things find their place in it. They find their space.
Where were you when that idea came to your head? Do you remember when you first came up with this?
I've had this story in my mind for about 10 years.
How on earth have you gone 10 years without telling it if you've had it in your mind for 10 years?
It just cooks away slowly, you know, and it just comes through by itself.
Wow.
You know, writing's a funny thing. You start a book, you can't imagine that you'll ever do one page. You can't think of it, how you'll do. And then you've got 10 pages, 30, and then at page 40 or 50 or whatever, the book takes off by itself, and you just hang on and you follow it. It's great.
How many books have you written?
5.
5. And does each one get easier, or does each one present a new struggle?
I find that I'm getting better.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just getting better. I'm not so enthusiastic. I use my brain more, you know, rather than instinct.
Well, you're quite good at it.
Thanks.
Now talk us through some of the themes we're going to experience when we're reading this new novel of yours.
Well, you're going to be confused and perplexed as to how it can be that a man of 30 can have a man of 35 can have a sister of 30 if his father died 35 years ago. So there's something doesn't add up.
Yeah.
And that's the way it goes. It's just one thing upon each other. They're characters. There are a number of people who come together. There's an important policeman. There are other people involved, and subplots come through very nicely. I hope, yes.
Now it's a mystery thriller. I know
Yes.
you like mystery thrillers
Yes.
and science fiction.
Yes.
Are you ever going to take up another genre?
You know, years ago I wrote a book. It's known as South Africa's first science fiction. I love science fiction.
Yeah.
But Barbara, my girlfriend, is so against it. She turns me off it.
Why is she so against it?
I don't think she follows it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I love science fiction. Love it.
What's your favorite science fiction novel?
Oh, I haven't read for years, but I liked, what is that very Asimov I used to read a lot of. This is a long time ago. I don't read a lot.
That's weird.
When I read, you know, I'm a historian actually.
Yeah.
And when I read history. I can't read a novel because I find it too anxiety prone. I try and second guess the writer all the time, so I spoil the book completely. But I like a brilliant history.
Now you're a historian. Do you introduce your historian roots into this new novel?
No,
Never.
no.
Is it hard for you?
No, not at all.
Why?
I think I'm busy on a story now. I think my next one will have a South African history flavour about one of the great heroes of the country.
Now, in Ascent of the Solitary Soul, you briefly introduced us to the main character.
Yes.
What other characters can we expect in the book?
Well, there's a man called Peter Hendricks. There's a man called, let me just think, his sister. There's Vivian, a policewoman, and he's going to fall in love with her, of course. and it just keeps building.
Now, I know your girlfriend Barbara is your biggest critic. I read
Yes,
somewhere. She's your most brutal critic. What did she think of the book?
She liked it.
Oh, good.
Yes, I was so pleased. I knew we were through. Yes. Yes.
Does she often like your books, or is she a little bit harsh on you?
No, Barbara's, she's got Latin University Latin, and she's clinically correct, and she's a sharp girl.
Yeah.
So if I get past Barbara, I'm through.
Have you ever still gone through without getting past Barbara?
No.
No. I like that.
No, she's pretty smart, clever girl.
Now, you said that you don't read often. What's the last nonfiction book you read? Can you remember?
No.
No, you can't. You know, I often find that writers don't like to read other writers because they don't want to be influenced.
Don't want to
by
be
their,
influenced,
by
and,
their
and
style.
also, I don't want to read how good other people are. It's the worst thing in the world.
Because you're the best in
yes,
your head.
hopefully, never, of course, but it sounds good. I don't want to. I like good history. I can appreciate good history. I write a fair history, but then you get the great histories, and they're just a pleasure.
Now, if you could give advice to any aspiring authors out there, what would you tell them?
I'd say study psychology, study history, study politics, sociology, get involved in all these human things. And don't be afraid to do things. Bang your head. And see the light for yourself, and then you'll find it.
Did you study all of those subjects?
Well, I've done psychology and history.
Yeah. And how has that helped you in your writing?
Oh, tremendously. Tremendously. I understand Freud and Jung perfectly.
Really?
Yeah, so that's it's a wonderful framework, through Freud and Jung comes into the Ascent of the Solitary Soul with regard to this man's own dynamics.
Yeah.
I love Jung, I love Freud, I like their expansive approach to life, grand explanations, nice. And yes, history's great,
Yeah. When did you first know you were going to be an author and not only a historian?
When I was about 5.
Really?
Yeah. Before I went to school, I was playing with a typewriter. Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
And did you always have stories that come to you?
I always used to write the best essay at school. I had a pen friend, and I did a course through the history course through the University of South Africa, and my essays were hundreds of pages long.
So you had to do it.
Yeah, I just love it. I like writing.
Yeah. Now, what do you hope everyone who picks up Ascent of the Solitary Soul take away from the book?
That they're going to see that things aren't quite what they might seem, and don't try and second guess life. Life's got its own course. We're just there for the journey.
Why was it important for you to tell a story that evokes those feelings and emotions?
I'm quite a serious person, and I think that there's a reason, there's a purpose for life. I think that I don't think we're just wandering around the universe as lost souls. I think there's a plan. I don't mean in a religious sense. I believe that we're part of the universe and we fit in all somewhere. I see it all as one single thing.
Yeah. Now, I know Ascent of the Solitary Soul is your new book, but you did mention briefly earlier that you're working on another one. What
Yes.
can we expect from that?
Oh, this is called a death in a country town.
Oh.
It's set in Napier, and I've had my first
Is it
death
set in
this
Napier?
morning early. It's absolutely wonderful.
What did that feel like going through your first
No, now the
death?
story's going. You see, now it's got it on page 50, 60. Now it's gone. Now it goes.
Wow.
Now it runs.
And you live in Napier.
Yes.
What's it like to tell a story, a crime thriller that's set in your own hometown?
Well, I think you can fit anything there. It's such a funny little town, No, it's not such a funny town, but it's very open to anything. You can sit on the stoop and watch the sun come and go. We had a power failure last night. We just sat on the stoop. It was glorious.
Wow. Well, your first death this morning, I hope I hope there aren't many more to go, are there?
Another 3.
Okay.
2 or 3.
All right, well, I wish you luck with
They're
those.
all happy deaths. Only the bad people die, so it's fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Ascent of the Solitary Soul is available in all good bookstores. If you've read it, let us know what you thought in the comments section below this video.